So, good afternoon everybody, and thank you Dr. Rajiv Chaudhary for giving me this opportunity. Take many innovations along with us. Microincision cataract surgery, we had reached nearly perfection in the phacoemulsification with the, you can say, 3.25 millimeter. But as we know that the ophthalmologist, not being easily satisfied, will continue to spearhead with bioengineers the development of improved techniques for minimal invasion of the eye. And if you look at the evolution of the phaco, we had a phaco we could perform with 3.2 millimeter at the beginning itself, but we had no lenses and we had to enlarge the incision to 5.5 millimeter. Then came foldable lenses with holder and the incision size went down to 3.2 to 3.75 millimeter. Then we had a micro needle, a micro phaco tip along with the injector system, and the incision size came down to 2.8 millimeter. Then we had a bimanual phaco and the incision came to 0.9 to 1.4 millimeter. And bimanual phaco or phaconet as it was popularized by the Amagrawal. And if you see this, so in this there was extra instrumentation was required. The instruments made by the Indian companies were not so good because their wall was thick and were not giving enough fluid. We had a duet instrument which costed around 65,000 rupees. Size of the irrigating chopper is very large, and if I want to do the EP nuclear plate rotation or something, I can't take my irrigating chopper off. I will have to take the phaco needle off. The spray of the irrigating fluid, because we have got to cut the sleeve so that the fluid keeps on coming and cools the eye. Collapse of the anterior chamber with the traditional method was so much that we had to put on a fish pump to increase the pressure or increase the bottle height to maybe 6 to 7 feet high, and you have to put on a AC maintainer, and there was a learning curve, increase the scup PCR and increase operative time. So all these made this surgery a little complicated, and lack of really good quality lenses which can go through 1 millimeter was the another tumbling block. So though we could perform the surgery with sleeveless phaco, what you can call as, and bimanual phaco, but at the same time the outcomes were not as desired, and there was a lot of difficulties in adopting to them, and lenses which could give as good vision as with the traditional surgery were not available. So this came there for some time, but at the same time it influenced our thought process that we need to reduce incision size. Another problem with this was the distortion of the wound, corneal burns was more. If there is a hard tip and the wound size is less, this leaks more. When there is a soft sleeve around it, it covers the wound and leakage is less. And if you make the incision too tight, there are more chances of burn. So there were more corneal burns, more distortion or ovalization of the wound was there. But that really created an interest for us coaxial microincision cataract surgery. The incision which may be 0.2 millimeter plus minus 2 millimeter, there is no hard and fast definition for that. So if you see that this is 1.8 millimeter incision. At present, this is the Steris machine, and all the modern machines have got an option of the micro phaco. And this I make incision little trapezoid. While coming out, I make outer wound maybe 2 millimeter, 2.2 millimeter, but my inner wound is just 1.8, and this incision is really very, very square. I know this is coming very dark over here, but the basic is that this and wound assisted. Because your outer wound is 2 millimeters, so you have got now cartridge and everything available, and you can actually inject the lens through a tunnel assisted or wound assisted lens inside. So there was no change in anything, and why this revolution came around, there are many factors for this. If you see that there was an improvement in the console, fluidics, power delivery and dual linear foot pedal. Almost all machines have this option. If you see that you have the console really faster, programmable, personalized and touch screen, you can actually customize for your different settings, for the soft cataract, for the hard cataract, the way you want to operate. You have the another very good thing is what we call as there is a microflow needle. There are studies which show that if the collapse of the chamber with the 19 gauge and 20 gauge needle, there is a double of the difference. Same way irrigation fluid aspiration is nearly half when you use 19 gauge versus 20 gauge needle. And very good innovation what we call as a cruise control. If you see in a irrigation aspiration there is much less collapse because the suction port is 0.3 mm. So anyway we have got a flare tips. So the surge will depend upon the smallest suction port anywhere in your suction line. So in the cruise control, what has been done, but if there is when you are splitting the lens will clock 0.3 mm opening. So what is very innovative, what is that the phaco tip which goes inside, and up to this, when it comes to the cruise control, it is 0.65 millimeter. As soon as the material comes into this, there is a mesh which holds onto the catheter's part, and only the fluid goes out. So over here you can make it 0.3 millimeter, because there is no chance of catheter's pieces going and clogging the tube. So that way you are on aspiration line, the surge is because of the 0.3 mm narrowing over there, the surge is much less, and it really works very, very well. And we have as already Dr. Chaudhary has talked about, we have got a hyper pulse, we have got a different mode of delivery energizing to decrease the thermal effect of the wound. So you can really make little tighter wound than you were easily earlier on able to make. And we have got a dual linear foot pedal. This is a great innovation, particularly I like it very much. When you are doing, say, vacuum from 0 to 600 in this line, and you are operating a vacuum machine, you really can't decide whether you are 200 or 300 or 400. So when you are doing it, you really don't know where you are. So in this, there is one where there is absolutely safe limiter. Up to say 300 vacuum, I feel absolutely safe without any danger. I can press my foot pedal completely without worrying about it. But at times, when I want to do phaco aspiration, I want the pieces to follow and come to the tip instead of me changing around. I want that I should be able to increase it, and as soon as I get my desired result, I should be able to come back. This is what this gives. This foot pedal, when you are pressing down, goes to a preset level which I keep at 400, and whenever I want little faster action, I move it slight sideways, it comes to 600. So this is really very, very advantageous, and this gives very, very efficient and very fast surgery. And now we look into the advantages. It reduces the astigmatism. There is a minimal space for entry is required, better sealing of the wound, asphericity of the cornea. So we look into it. If we see that the reduced astigmatism in one of these studies, if the incision is 1.7, if you see the astigmatism of this is none of the patient goes beyond 1 diopter. The majority of the patients are 0.25 to 0.5 diopter. But if the wound size is 3 to 0.25, then none of the patient is below 0.25, and there are a lot of patients which go beyond 1 diopter. So it becomes very important when you are using a premium IOL. You are using a multifocal IOL. Suppose you are operating the left eye of the patient and his steep axis is this. Either you will have to the left-handed phaco because you are sitting on the temporal side, or you will have to operate on the superior nasal side, which is very, very difficult position. You can place your incision at a steep axis if you are making 3.2 millimeter incision, but there may be situations where you are not able to go to the steep axis and you might have to do the left-handed phaco. So whenever you are using premium IOL, you want your astigmatism to be the minimal, and more important, a consistent variability should be the least. While in a larger the incision, more is the variability. Variability may be 0.25 to 1.5, while you will prefer to have variability maybe between 0.25 to 0.5. You need minimal space for entry. So in a post-refractive surgery, in post-penetrating keratoplasties where you don't want to disturb a lot of wounds, you don't want to disturb the graft and host junction, in a eye syndrome, in microphthalmos, in peripheral ulcers, in corneal vascularization, there may be many places where there may be a space contained and you want the smallest incision size. There may be better sealing, particularly in a combined procedure, in a vitreoretinal surgery, because you can really make a square incision, you might not have to suture. In a pediatric cataract where you have to give a bicular suture, or you have got to give the GA to the patient once again, if the incision is really a square, and a smaller incision can help you. In a floppy iris, again, if you make a premature entry, the iris keeps on collapsing, but if you have got a square tunnel, the collapse of the iris will be much less. And accommodative IOL, of course, at present they are not available into the size which can go through 1.8 millimeter, but you need to keep them concave. If they vault forward, you will have to enter the eye once again to make them concave. So in these cases, you need a very absolutely tight wounds, and many a times they advise do place a suture, and there should be no accommodative effect. They knock off the accommodation by putting the atropine. So when you are doing now, it is possible to measure the asphericity of the cornea. So you really don't want to introduce yourself the corneal asphericity. So in these cases, these smaller incision may be really very, very helpful. So in a post-surgery this should cause less inflammation, and more important, the endophthalmitis is more because of the ingress of the fluid inside. If your incision is not correct, so when the lids squeeze, the fluid from the conjunctival sac is sucked in. So this type of better sealed incision should cause much less endophthalmitis than a larger unstable wound. So it gives you more liberty. Even if you err slightly, it is a premature entry. Even if you make 1.25 millimeter incision, it will still be very well sealing. While you can make 1.8 to 1.8, very well you can make an incision. So the take-home message is, of course, size 0 is in, and smaller the incision, more people and your patients are going to like it. Thank you very much for your kind attention.